You, Kakarot, I choose you to be the first of my victims.
Oh, wait. Wrong Broly. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are reviewing the newly reissued SH Figuarts Broly Full Power, or if you got it from Amazon, it is SH Figuarts Broly Fully Power. Those of you who follow the weekly recap will get that joke, hopefully. But yeah, so I want to keep this review very organized. Want to keep it fairly, short in length as well. So I'm going to try to like segment this into different sections, okay? So there should be chapters in the video as well to try to help me stay very organized with this so it doesn't go off into like, a rant or whatever, okay? Anyway, so the first thing, of course, we have here is the packaging. The packaging for this is the typical SH Figuarts packaging where you see the figure there, you've got the window hair, you've got these images showing different parts of the figure and poses and stuff like that. Got the figure on the back and stuff like that, okay? Now, I'm not sure how different this packaging is to like the original release of this. I will say though, like this image here and these images in general look really saturated to me, like kind of like oversaturated, kind of strange, don't know, like compared to the figure's skin tone and stuff doesn't look quite like that, so I don't know. But anyways, I know that Genki Damatsuri Goku had like I think a manga panel right here. I'm not sure whether I prefer to have like artwork of the character here or the figure. I lean more towards the figure, but I do also kind of like how the manga panel looks on the Genki Damatsuri Goku box. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, but I slightly prefer the figure approach, although the other one I think is kind of cool as well. So yeah, now let's open this and look at the figure itself. And of course, if you want to buy this yourself, link in the description and you know where, on dbfigs.com. I do want to mention one thing about the box though. Like my box is like, this part is peeling off, like you can see that right there, it's separating there. And even up here, same issue going on. So yeah, poor quality on the box. I mean, I don't really care about the box that much, but once again, for $100, the box should be better quality than this. It really should be better quality than this. All right, so let's now talk about the appearance of the figure. I do think that this Broly figure is one of the better looking SH Figuarts figures, although like the face sculpts, like they're good enough, I guess. They're better than some others, but they're still not like that super perfect artistic style that I really think SH Figuarts should be. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, they can work. I don't think they're complete garbage or anything, but there definitely is room for improvement. The torso does have some decent shading going on, so I do like that. The waist wrap piece here, I can't definitively say there's any shading here. It doesn't look like there is to me. Very plain. Really should have more detail in that, like a wash or something just to highlight those details, you know what I mean? So for $100, like, I'd say that's unacceptable. Let's see here, the legs here, once again, I don't really see any shading here. There might be some microscopic level of shading, but I can't notice anything. Unacceptable once again. And then the boots here, look at this. This is a $100 figure, right? $100 figure and just this plain foot for $100, dude. Just ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, the reason I got this is of course because I want to use it to recreate the fights from the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. And as I've said before, if you want articulated Dragon Ball figures, you either have to get scammed by Bandai or get scammed by third-party or custom companies, or you don't get any figures at all. That's really the unfortunate reality. There are some third-party companies that have decent prices for the value. Like I think Tonsen Art Toys has pretty good value considering how good the figures look and the accessories that you get. But a lot of them are, you know, a lot of them are really overpriced and stuff like SH Figuarts are as well. So that's quite unfortunate to see. But yeah, so let's now look at the articulation of this thing. So as far as the head goes, right? Let's see, how far up can he go? Not much because of the hair, especially. He can look down very well, though. Very, very well. Yeah, he can look down very well. Which is like, I guess that's more important because Broly's super tall, so he won't really be looking up at someone as often as he would be looking down, you know? So that's good. Of course, you got the full swivel there. Probably could go 360, but I don't want to, like, I don't know. I feel a bit of resistance going on there. I don't know if his neck moves. Yeah, his neck actually does move. See if I can get this close up here. His neck actually does move. Let's see. Yeah, you can see the neck right there is moving, so that's good. A lot of SH Figuarts, the neck is like stuck in place. And I will say, like, his face seems to be a slightly different color than his neck, if you can notice that. And slightly different from the torso too, I think. So a bit of color mismatch going on there. Something that Bandai has been known for sometimes with like Legendary Super Saiyan Goku. His torso was horribly discolored, at least, you know, in some cases it seemed worse than others. Mine, I don't think is that bad, but I could notice a bit. But some other people's, at least on camera, you know, had some quite striking contrast from what I can recall. But yeah, so, all right. These shoulders. So it can go up this much here. I think you can get more on that. I'm not going to try breaking that thing, but I think you can go further than this, but I might have to heat it up or something. And I want to say this figure has a really strong smell. Like, let me see. Yeah, he has a really strong smell, and it's not the usual, like, you know, new plastic smell or whatever. It's like, it smelled kind of like perfume, had kind of a sweet fragrance to it. So I don't know what that is. Is this made in Vietnam? Let me see. No, the box says made in China. So I don't know why it smelled like that, but it wasn't like a bad smell. Just I wasn't used to that kind of smell from a figure. Anyway, so they can go up like that. Butterfly joints. How far forward can they go? Let me see. I think he can go further than this, but there is some stiffness when I take the joints pretty far. But, you know, he can go like this, right? Which is good. Okay. Let's see. Swivel at the bicep, of course. Mine is a bit stiff when I go like this. Don't want to break that. He can go like that pretty easily, but this is not really letting me go further. Double jointed elbow. Okay. Swivel at the wrist hinge, the usual stuff. Let's see the torso now. How far forward can he go? Let's try to not use the waist to compensate for it. Not much ab crunch at all. Like, I mean, that's it. that's literally it. Okay? So, not much there at all. The waist, does his waist swivel? I'm going to guess that it does, but mine is pretty stuck. So I'm not going to risk breaking that. He has this, you know, the air, right, from the creature. Let's see, the leg. How far up can this leg go? It can go decently up, but it is really restricted by this thing. If this was like soft, you know, if it was cloth or a very soft rubber or something, you'd be able to get more movement out of that, I would think. That's as high up as I can get it without extreme resistance. Let's see, kicking out. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, we can get a full split going on. Let's see here. Okay, I think that's pretty solid, right? Pretty good there, I will say. Okay, double jointed knee. Well, knees. He does have two knees. But I only bent one knee, so you can go either way there. Swivel at the wrist, not the wrist, the ankle right here. Okay, and then you've got that. Can't really go up any. Okay, and then you've got this toe hinge right there. Okay, cool. So the articulation, I think it's pretty solid, except for the ab crunch is basically non-existent, and kicking forward is not the best. Although, I mean, you could do stuff like this, where you kind of like, you know, pose him in such a way that it makes it look like he's kicking higher. You know what I mean? Like you can manipulate the posing to accomplish something like that, I think. But yeah, so articulation is done. Let's now look at the accessories. All right, so these are all the accessories that this $100 figure includes. Okay, this is it. Like this is it. There's nothing else in the box. So let's look at, I guess, the face sculpt first. First, this one. He has this, like, you know, menacing smile or grin kind of expression. Okay, looks, you know, acceptable. Not like groundbreaking artistically, but, you know, it's acceptable if you ignore the price tag. You know, if you ignore the price, it's acceptable. But yeah, this is not really, not, you know, just amazing or anything. Okay, then we've got this right here, yelling, which is something, once again, I mean, even third-party companies and stuff, for some reason, oftentimes I feel like they just struggle to really capture as much expression as they should with these things, right? But I mean, it can work. You know, it's not like complete and utter garbage, you know? Let's now look at, I think the 1.0 Broly looks a lot worse. Let's see, these hands here, which are like kind of like these like gripping hands. Okay, I think these look pretty solid. Sculpt seems pretty good, right? And then last, and could be least, I don't know, depending on which accessories you like more, you've got these open hands here. Okay, so let's now try changing these out on the figure. Okay, let's go with the face sculpt first. Just remove the hair for those who don't know or are new to SH Figuarts. Take this off as well. Let's go smiling, smirking, grinning, whatever you want to call it. Put that on there. Put this on here. And yeah, let's see. Good to go, right? That works. Works fine, no problem. I do have a bit of like, I don't know, is that called flashing or something going on there? Okay, or dust, I don't know what that was. It was actually a piece of plastic, I think. Like, it's like a plastic string. You see that? It's like, yeah, it's actually like green like his hair, I think. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Not like a big issue. Probably just a minor quality thing, quality control thing, but whatever. Yeah, this looks fine, okay. And let's try the hands. Well, do you want to see both expressions? I guess you can do both. Take this off, take this off, get the other one, put that on here, then put this here, and there you go. There you have the yelling expression. Okay, cool, cool. Now let's try the hands. Take the fists off. Okay, good, good. And thankfully, it doesn't seem like this is like a bootleg version of Broly, like how shallow it looked. So they didn't like completely cheap out on this or anything. So that is, you know, quote unquote good to see in a certain sense. Got this now. I will say I like how on his gauntlets, there is a bit of sculpting there. I do like that right there. On this one too, okay. And yeah, so you got these hands right here, okay. Worked perfectly fine. No problem changing those out. And then the last pair of hands, which is these like kind of grabbing hands. Let's get these. Okay, not hearing like a pop, but they seem to be on. It seems to be on. Then we've got this. Okay, that one did pop. So yeah, same thing, no issues there. Good to see that I don't have any quality issues except for the, like, you know, the plastic thing on the hair there. Okay, so next, let's get into the height comparisons to compare this figure to other figures. All right, here he is next to the SH Figuarts Broly. Not sure what this is called. Is it called like Super Saiyan Broly. I don't know, but the basically the base form, Ikari form, and Super Saiyan Broly in the armor. Okay, you have that. The figure itself, of course, the full power Broly, and then a custom Paragus that I made a while ago. I believe this uses like some Dragon Stars bodies, like some Dragon Stars Vegeta bodies, and I think this head sculpt is from a line or a product line or whatever called Dragon Ball Adverge. So let's get a closer look at that if we can. Yeah, so this is my custom Paragus. I might, go back and like, if I can get us to focus, I might go back and like rework some of the purple parts and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty, okay with this. So let's look at some other comparisons now. Here he is next to the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie Super Saiyan Blue Goku figure, as well as a Dragon Ball Evolve Vegeta figure with, I believe this is like a Kong Studio head sculpt from like years ago on here, okay? And yeah, so I mean, this Vegeta, as far as the height is concerned, Vegeta's height does vary drastically throughout the series. Like in the Saiyan saga, he looks like super small. Even on some manga covers and stuff, or at least one manga cover I can think of, he looked super short, like basically Krillin height or something. So, I mean, I do have the 2.0 Super Saiyan Vegeta here, which is, of course, taller than that. So, I mean, this height is also probably accurate depending on what you're looking at, what frame of an anime or frame of a movie or manga panel. So, yeah. But the reason, of course, the reason I'm currently planning to use the Dragon Ball Evolve Vegeta body is because it has that darker, like, Broly movie color scheme, or at least I think that's what it's supposed to represent, as opposed to the usual Vegeta color scheme, So if Bandai were to make let's say, the new Dangerous Pride Vegeta, if they were to make, like, a Broly movie version of that was a retail figure, not like some $70 overpriced garbage, then I might consider using that, but I don't feel like spending $70 to get this figure with different colors. It's just ridiculous nonsense, so no. But yeah, so that is how he looks with those. And now for the final comparison. Here he is next to the... Oh, I almost forgot to do this comparison. This is something I really, really wanted to do. So this is, of course, the Jada Toys Sagat figure. And, of course, you have the Broly figure over here. $100, $40. And look at the size difference, right? They're very similar height. Broly's not that much larger than Sagat here, right? And the accessories, with Sagat you get 2 expressions, okay? With Broly you get 3. With Sagat you get 4 hands. With Broly you get 6 hands. And Sagat even has also this stand and this effect piece for $40 basically, right? Compared to $100 for this Broly. Make it make sense. You can't make it make sense. If I had the Storm Arena Sagat, I'd be able to make even a stronger comparison here because, of course, the Storm Arena Sagat, artistically speaking, looks way better than the Jada Toys one. It has a sharper sculpt, more artistic style, and all that kind of stuff. And that figure is also like $40. So, obviously, Bandai is drastically, horribly overcharging on these figures. And, people will say stuff like, oh, a premium Bandai exclusive, those cost more because they make less or whatever. This is not a premium Bandai exclusive. This is a general retail figure, okay? $100. It's not a premium Bandai exclusive. So that excuse does not work, okay? If that was the reason for the high prices, then this figure shouldn't be $100, should it? Exactly. So the point is moot. It's a moot argument, okay? So yeah, I mean, as I've said for quite some time, hopefully some other company, Jack Pacific, Storm Collectible, Storm Arena, Jada Toys, hopefully somebody else can make Dragon Ball figures, because since Bandai has no competition, they know that we have no alternative. If you want this Broly, right? If you want this Broly, you have to buy it from them, okay? You can't go buy a Storm Arena version. You can't go buy a Jada Toys version. You could probably find a bootleg somewhere, but even those bootlegs are pretty rare now. I think Legend Creation made some of those a while ago. Made some bootleg Brolys a while ago, but those are not easy to find now. And of course, they weren't really great. They kind of like, missed. They didn't have all the joints they should have and stuff. That kind of garbage. So you know, it's unfortunate. But yeah, guys, I almost forgot to add this part in. Here he is next to the guy that he would be fighting if I recreate, Broly in this form from the movie, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta. This is, of course, the Tonsen Art Toys Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, which is just a fantastic figure sculpt-wise. If this had, like, really great shading and stuff, it would definitely take it to an even a higher level. But I mean, it's already, like, just impeccable sculpt work. I love the face sculpts. See if I can focus here. Yeah, I love the face sculpts. I love the body sculpt. I love, yeah. The only thing that kind of bothers me a bit, possibly, is the, like, hip design, the leg design. But I don't know. I feel like somehow the way that Tonsen executed it, something about it doesn't bother me as much as the Bandai style. There's something slightly different, but I'm not sure what the difference really is. It could be the color of the pants. I don't know, where, like, it kind of blends together better or something. But yeah, man, so these are the figures I would need for that fight, Yeah. All right. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you want to be updated on Dragon Ball figures and so on, Dragon Ball figure news. I do the Dragon Ball figure recap every Friday. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.